2018 Indian FTR 1200. When we go to indicates like ACMA, we are presented to idea bicycles that are never created. Honda at one time demonstrated an electric bicycle in light of something that does not yet exist, a conservative engine in view of superconducting windings. Things like this are proposed to energize us, to influence us to think, and to respect the organization of Starting Point decidedly. Yet, we know moderately couple of ideas make it to model, and couple of models make it to generation. It is every one of a procedure of discovering accord among plan, client relations, creation, and back. It's muddled. Simply think about American 100 arrangement contenders. We recollect the F-100 Super Sabre. F-102 slumped on the grounds that it wouldn't go supersonic and was updated and re-engined as F-106. Be that as it may, shouldn't something be said about 103? Indeed, F-104 was the rocket with wings and F-105 was the crash of Vietnam distinction, yet shouldn't something be said about 107 and 108? They were rejected. 2018 Ducati Panigale V4. Geraldo Félix I as a young fellow worked for Benetton, test riding an interminable progression of models, the greater part of which never achieved showrooms. In testing or different investigations, some issue was frequently found that brought about cancellation. The choice to create is immense, on the grounds that it implies betting the substantial cost of tooling for generation against the expectation that deals will push the books into the dark. Think about the Tucker Auto and the Ford Edsel. Davy Crockett should have stated, "First make certain you're correct. At that point proceed." But how might you make certain? Race developer, tuner Rino Leone worked for Ducati as a test rider. The routine was to appear at the test office early, be issued a test bike, at that point suit up and take off. The activity? To keep running up mileage to quantify the strength of a conceivable new model. Once on the autostrada he would quicken to near the machine's most extreme speed and ride to an assigned city, eat, and return, rounding out a screech sheet detailing any issues. One day there he was, traveling north at about 100 miles per hour when with a scream two quick-moving articles plunged past him, one on either side. He saw that they were red and that they conveyed prova, test, tags. Two Ferrari Formula One autos immediately vanished up the street ahead. 2018 KTM 790 Duke. A definitive guarantee of PC's idea to generation in a solitary advance, no costly physical testing, no periods of meticulous R&D, no pulling out of unworkable plans and beginning once again. While PCs can directly be efficient instruments, idea to creation remains a fantasy. Originators always take a gander and think about shapes and hues, for these constitute a noiseless dialect that addresses every one of us regardless of whether just subliminally. GM's extraordinary styling boss Harley Earl stated, "Outline must lead people in general, however not by excessively." It was anything but difficult to see the outcomes in the 1950s and 60s. Supersonic airship grasped individuals' creative impulses, covering autos and blades, counterfeit emissions, guard bombs, and flight fumes shining taillights. Fashioners must find which shapes and hues hold individuals' creative energies in the present, and can at that point, through several portrayals, work their approach to ideas that may be worth taking a gander at in 3 measurements. On the off chance that we've had our top of secured off sport bikes, would we say we are prepared to grasp the Bear Cruiser as trained, demonstrating all its apparatus? Is there another place for something amongst bicycle and bike, something overpoweringly charming? On the off chance that Patagonia has moved toward becoming home Irma, what experience replaces it? Fashioners watch mainstream films, take a gander at dress, autos, planes, furniture, computer games. Where would they be able to see the bones without bounds? 2018 Harley-Davidson Sport Glide. Higher administration comes to take a gander at the 3D dirts. Consider the possibility that they detest everything. Show me something different. They may state. Back to the strict planning phase. At Norton in the late 1950s, Mr. Enormous Management was on an excursion, so while he was away a couple of machines were given appealing non-customary paint. On his arrival, He had each bicycle repainted. Stodgy he could get it. Shading was a stunt. Nobody can be correct constantly. At the shows, we gaze and long for what we see, yet may never have the capacity to have it. Either it's not delivered or isn't conveyed to the US showcase. Be that as it may have done its activity, or else in the